Everybody, welcome back to vidIQ Tuesday Channel Audits with your host Rob here. You have joined us at the YouTube Education Creator Obsessed channel, where we open our doors into our learning hall, lecture theatre, YouTube classroom, whatever you want to call it. And you get a little bit vulnerable with your channels with a hope that you're going to gain some knowledge, some wisdom, perhaps a little bit of entertainment, and take your channel to the next level. We are on week 31 of 2022 right now, and boy, is it hot just about everywhere, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. And that means that the channel audits just keep heating up. Yes, I scripted all of that before we went live. Joining us today, as always, is a gaggle, a festival, I can't think of another word. Thinking of another word for group. Copacabana. I don't even know if that's a word. I'm just going to introduce Dan at this point. Dan, I know you. Oh. Hey. Does this mean you've got a soundboard working?
Yeah.
Hey.
Isn't that great? Is that what you wanted?
That's so great. That's so
You like when other people can do things, right?
I do, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us as always, Dan. Pleasure for you to be here. And of course, you're going to be here tomorrow for video audit reviews. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But let's move on to our second guest host, kind of a regular, really. And he is the man with the coolest shades on the planet. I also want to ask him a question about what is the best budget true wireless earbuds with active noise cancellation coming on. That's probably a conversation for another time, but let's introduce him anyway. It is Jeff. How's it going, Jeff?
Going good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, pretty good. So like, if I was to ask you that question, what off the top of your head, what would be the answer to that question, Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, good. Moving on then. Let's just give him 20 seconds of airtime. Go.
Yo, it's been 3 weeks, people. It's been 3 weeks, but the Viper is back live doing channel audits. What's up, Rob? What's up, Dan? El Jefe's here too. Oh yeah, let's get it on, baby. Let's get it on. Woo!
That is Viper introducing himself as enthusiastically and as passionate as always. Now, just before we jump into channel audits this week, I have an important question. Yes, I live in Canada, but it does actually get very, very hot during the summer. And we've had temperatures in the Vancouver region of plus 80 or plus 30 for 8 days now. And I'm pretty tired and I'm pretty sweaty. And unfortunately, I don't have access to an AC unit.
Hey,
so
Rob,
I want to ask, what?
I was on a website today and I saw your face. I don't know if you're ready to announce what's happening at the end of next month yet, but I saw your face on a particular website, Rob.
Okay, good. Let's get back to that later. Stop interrupting my question. The question was, or is, what are your cooling methods if you don't have AC? The one that I read about, and I've yet to try it, is that you get your underpants, you put them in the freezer for about an hour, and then you wear them. But I'm actually terrified to try that. Dan, do you have a cooling suggestion if you don't have an AC unit?
Okay, so this one requires a friend, a family member, or a very dexterous pet. But you get, you get somebody to kind of fan you while you're streaming. Just right over here.
Right, a fan servant.
Yes.
Fair enough. Is your cat going to do that today?
No, my cat does not have thumbs.
All right. Viper, if you had a cooling method without an AC, what would it be?
Ooh, basically, I mean, if you don't have AC, you better like go buy a fan or something, or where minimum clothing is possible. I guess. That's what,
Okay, so getting naked is.
no. I didn't say naked. I said minimum.
That's
I
how I
heard
interpreted
get
it. That's how I interpreted it, Viper. It's my live stream. Jeff, you had plenty of suggestions before we went live. I paused it so that you could just list them off, almost like a listicle video on YouTube. So, like, what are the best ways to cool down without AC?
Well, for us, since we're always locked in these rooms and doing these streams, first and foremost, I would say no shoes, no socks. That's going to be key to trying to keep cool. If you have something on the floor where that's cold to the touch that you can put your feet on, even better.
Ooh,
and then secondly, always have a cold drink at hand. Ice, cool beverage to kind of keep you cool. Take sips. Don't take huge chugs or else you're going to have to pee in the middle of your stream. But aside from that, those are the best ones. Most people streaming, most videos on YouTube that you see from here up, most creators aren't wearing pants. Just throwing that out there.
Like, that's the best YouTube advice you're going to get today from his channel audits. Most creators don't wear pants. We
100%.
need a t-shirt making of that. Definitely some merch going on there. Got some excellent suggestions here. Freeze a bottle of water overnight and leave it out for a while until the ice is melted, and then you have ice water. Cool suggestion there, Tish. Our Max community manager. Sorry if I've given you a wrong title there, but Tish, a fantastic suggestion. Fans of blocks of ice in front of him. I tried that, and it just ended up blocking the air completely. So I haven't perfected that strategy just yet. Yeah, I tried this one. Put a frozen cold towel around your neck. Use a regular fan, position it over some water, cool like a breeze at lake if you don't get electrocuted, I assume, with such elements close to electrical equipment. And I think I'm going to do this one straight after the live stream. Just get a nice ice cream. Absolutely. Thank you for your cooling down during live stream suggestions.
I feel cooler already.
Very, very, very keen to actually do some channel audits. So why don't we show you how this is going to work over the next 60 seconds, and then we'll get back to it. Welcome to the vidIQ channel audit live stream, where we review your YouTube channels. To submit your channel for review, make sure to fill out the right form linked in the video description. Note that we clear these forms after every live stream, so make sure to resubmit the following week. Channel audits are free, so please don't send us a super chat or spam us in a chat expecting a review. If there are alternative ways to get picked for an audit, we will let you know during the live stream. If we don't get around to reviewing your channel today, vidIQ has a channel audit tool working 24/7 with you. Make sure to download our tools and use the 30-day free trial using a link in the video description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our moderators who do a phenomenal job every single week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As for all of you, well, thumbs up if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and if you know of a fellow creator who may find all of his stuff useful, please do share it with them. And with all of that being said, let's start auditing your channels. All right, then. So Viper, let's get back to what you were mentioning earlier. So what do we need to know about me?
Well, next month there's a particular conference, and when I went to the conference website, I saw your face on it. Yeah, that'll be you. Yeah,
there we are. Yeah, right.
That's what I saw. Yeah.
So look at this. No one cares about your YouTube SEO. That's good.
Whoa.
Hot takes.
Whoa.
Fun insider take. I haven't done any preparation for this yet whatsoever. I was asked for a title. I provided a title. Now I need to figure it out.
That's classic Wilson.
Classic Wilson.
You look like you've done more than Matthew Beam and Daryl Eves.
Yeah, I've got a bit of competition here as well.
Yeah, nice.
I'm going to need you, my fellow colleagues, to sabotage these other presentations. But yes, Vid Summit. You're absolutely right, Viper. If anybody's going to Vid Summit, do make sure to join us Thursday, whatever date that is. I think it's Thursday, the 29th of September. And I will be there speaking about why no one cares about your SEO. Apparently, allegedly. Okay, so let's get back to what we're doing today. Housekeeping rules as always. We audit hundreds of channels. Sorry, we get hundreds of channel submissions every single week, and we can't audit every single channel. So what we advise you do is, as we're a community learning together, we want you to be looking at all of the channels we're auditing next to your own channel, if you can bring it up on a second screen, and try to think about the fundamentals that we're talking about. Thumbnails, channel focus, consistency, titles, all of these come up every single week. How is that going to apply for one channel versus your own channel? Do make sure to be thinking about your channel, not just if and when you're picked, but as we talk about other creators. And I think that's just about it in terms of the prerequisites of this live stream. So now we audit the very first channel that's submitted on one of our forms that's in the description and hasn't been audited before. Do make sure to fill out those forms right now if you haven't already done so, as we may be picking you out randomly for an audit later on. But the channel we're going to look at today, the very first one, is called Brandy Shots Subscribe. I don't know.
Brady.
Brady.
Sorry, not
Brandy.
Brady Shots Subscribe. I don't know if that's their entire channel name. Probably not. I'm already messing up channel name pronunciations, so I think I will take a verbal break, hydrate, and open up this channel auditing with Jeff and your first impressions on this channel.
Oh, hang on. Let me go full screen so I can see what I'm looking at here. All right. So Brady Shots, and let's see. Look, we got a bunch of shorts here. Made a song for Mr. Beast. Okay. Spend a decade in the metaverse when they don't have Doritos. So I'm getting a Danky Mimi kind of vibe here a little bit. Also riding trends, obviously, with Mr. Beast celebrating his 100 million. But then there's also I made my friends a play button, which is not a short, but it's a minute and 46, which is kind of interesting. Still kind of a shorter video. So it looks like they're doing a bit of mixed content, although the thumbnails look okay. Like I made my friends a play button, the most impossible shot ever. Like these actually have pretty decent like thumbnail style to them. They could be tweaked a little bit, but surprisingly good for a channel that's kind of on the smaller side. Actually, I'm kind of impressed, but not sure how long they've been doing it for.
Let's see. What's significant
Seems
amount
like
of
they've been
time
around for a bit,
listed.
yeah. And there's a huge improvement from when they first started.
Yeah. In terms of thumbnail evolution, you look at these and the chaotic text on screen. You got to the most recent ones, which aren't shorts. A lot more thought has been put into them.
Yeah, and the shorts are not doing bad either.
They're certainly taking inspiration from other large creators at this point. Not necessarily a bad thing, as you find your own path on YouTube. Dan, Viper, what do you think to this channel?
I am impressed by the improvement. That's for sure. I think they're going in the right direction, especially in terms of thumbnails on their long form videos. They seem to be studying and trying to implement a lot of the strategies on their own channel. I think what this comes down to next is taking time to develop your personality on YouTube and things like that, but also the types of like challenges you're doing, because it seems like you said they're doing a lot of stuff that we've seen, like that looks heavily inspired by other creators. So this is how the creative process starts. I think you start by kind of mimicking what you enjoy, what you've seen that works, and then slowly but surely you start to twist things more and more until eventually you put out a video that is very, very unique and original, thanks to everything you're doing. This is a situation where I would say like keep going. This creator obviously like gets it.
I agree that they're certainly taking a lot of inspiration and cues from the big creators, almost like format. Instead of trend jacking, their video format jacking to a certain extent. And you're always going to be a poor second, but at this point in your YouTube journey, that's absolutely fine. And ultimately and eventually, that creator is going to develop their own uniqueness, which is going to make them unwatchable, because you can only get the content from this creator. So I think that's a really good place for this channel to be in, and a really good piece of advice, Dan. Jeff, any final? Sorry, not Jeff. Viper, any final pointers here that we can see as I just scroll through the thumbnails?
I must be the old man of the group, because I'm like really focusing, having trouble trying to figure out what the channel focus is here. But the other thing is that you don't need the word subscribe in your channel banner. I don't know why y'all keep doing that. You don't need that. There's a big subscribe button right there below the banner. You don't need to have it in your banner as well. Also, your channel avatar, the carrot, what is that, like an inside joke, or what is that about? I would almost suggest maybe putting an actual picture of you as your channel profile picture, but yeah, the carrot thing, that's not doing anything for me.
The carrot isn't doing anything for you. All right, then. So key advice there from Viper: less carrots, more faces, perhaps on the branding of a channel. But view-wise, very. I mean, even this is an example of where not only are the shorts doing well on occasion, you have thousands of views, but a long-form content, I wouldn't be disappointed with like 400 views and 500 views for a channel with approaching 900 subscribers. You've got your foot in both content types, which is really encouraging as well. So I think you have license to continue doing shorts and longs together on the channel. And I saw that your goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2022. I think you may be doing this by the end of summer, fingers crossed, because some really good progress here from the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if there was one more thing, it's cadence. Posting shorts on a regular basis, but videos maybe one every 2 weeks, every 2 or 3 weeks.
I think what I want to say about the subscriber goal is, I agree. I think they hit it very soon, 1,000 subscribers. I challenge you, once you hit your 1,000 subscriber goal, to change your channel so it looks like you are not even focused on subscribers. Subscribers are cool, and you're going to get subscribers as you continue to grow on YouTube, whether you like it or not. I want to see your focus be on improving the content that you make, as it looks like it is. It is a focus for you because you are improving the content, just as we can see. It's kind of interesting that that's live, but not on their channel.
So hang on, is this?
Oh, this is a friend of theirs, I think.
Are they live streaming on somebody else's channel? Bro, what is happening? Oh, I don't know. I'm tempted to say you're currently being channel audited, but let's not bother with that today.
Yeah. So so their friend too, like subscribers. This is especially what we've seen this with younger creators a lot. This is like the thing, right? Everybody wants more subscribers. We do too. I mean, we're not settling at 1 million subscribers. Oh no, like we're now we have our eyes on 2 million. If you go across this channel, you won't find any indication of that because we know all we need to do is continue to improve our content. So change up this branding when you get a chance, hit that 1,000 subscriber goal, and then give yourself permission to worry way less about subscribers. Once you get that monkey off your back, you can start to think about the videos themselves and the quality of those videos and the audience that you want to target with those videos.
Beautiful. Dan on fire with the mindset advice there. Let's move on to the next channel. It is our first gaming channel that's submitted this week. And somebody who's a little further on in their YouTube journey, they've just cracked 10,000 subscribers. Simply Addicted. Dan, I will let you lead off on this one, but first impressions suggest to me that this is the channel that's found their Roblox mod corner on YouTube with Bee Swarm Simulator.
That's a great name for a game that I will never play. I don't like bees. So Bee Swarm Simulator. Now, in the Roblox space, this is awesome because if you can find a game that you can just kind of dominate in, you can see incredible growth. And this channel, in the different views we're seeing across their videos, has a ton of data here. So one of your better videos on average seems to do about 20,000 views. You have a breakout towards the top of the 115,000 views from a couple months ago. But yeah, it looks like the top of your average is about 20,000. So what I would be doing is, and that's also another one to look at too, the rarest bee in Bee Swarm Simulator. What I would be doing is looking at that video, looking at the 20,000 view videos, judging the titles, judging the thumbnails, look at your analytics, make sure, like, was the click-through rate especially high on those? Was the retention really good? Et cetera, et cetera. Once you kind of like have this bird's eye view of all your content, you can try and figure out, how can I make sure my next video at minimum hits 20,000 views? This is going to take you kind of separating yourself emotionally from your content, which it looks like, you know, I would say a lot of the big gaming creators that I've seen are able to do that. It looks like you may be able to do that. You're over 10,000 subscribers. You're getting a lot of views. You need to be able to look at your content from like an outsider's perspective and try and see. So as an outsider, I'm seeing the rarest bee in Bee Swarm Simulator. I can see why that was successful, just judging by the title alone, because look how approachable that is. Even as someone who's never played Bee Swarm Simulator, I know what that means. It's dead simple. I don't have to think for 1 second about what that video is about. This bee was not meant to be obtained. A little texty, the thumbnail's a little busy, doesn't matter. 115,000 views. You are dominating the space. So that's what I would be doing. I think I had this conversation with a creator earlier, a friend of mine. They wanted to use a title, and I said, I like that concept as a title, but it's very like complicated if you're just scrolling by and you're not really thinking in that mindset. You need to approach this from a really simple perspective, and I think that's what that bee swarm video did.
I would be curious to know, the reason I've gone onto the analytics here is I'd be interested to know how many return viewers this channel gets, because the cadence of this channel in terms of when they're posting, especially for a gaming channel, is quite stretched out. 11 days ago, 3 weeks ago, then 2 months ago. So there was a big, significant break, especially for a gaming channel.
Yeah.
And I'll be wondering, like, when you look at videos growing your audience, like new viewers who returned, I would suspect that to be quite medium or high. And then also average views per viewer might be quite high as well, because it feels to me like the viewers are probably demanding more content from this channel and they're not delivering enough, would be my suggestion. Like, can you commit to 1 video a week at least, or 2 videos a week? I don't know how long they take to prepare, whether the rarest bee requires a lot of research and filming to do that. But most gaming channels are pushing out at a cadence of 1 a day. I don't want you to go to that extreme, but there's clearly an audience who wants to watch your content and you're not delivering on a regular enough basis.
The 4 months ago strip of videos that they had there, we clicked away from it, but I was going to say, it's all right. It just looks like when they were posting a little more frequently.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so we have, like, from 4 months ago, we have one with 20,000 views, but then a couple that didn't even hit 10,000. And for this channel, that's pretty low. So taking a step back may have helped them.
Yeah,
but
that could be it.
In exchange, there, you still, I think you still have permission to post more than once a month, and taking a step back and kind of learning from that, and then re-strategizing, regrouping a little bit is probably the way I would go. So for a gaming channel, once a month is, I mean, I know successful gaming channels that are doing that, but that is, like, still for the audience, like, painfully slow. My favorite example of this is Let's Game It Out. They post about once a month, but their videos are pretty epic. Like, when you look and see what goes into making one of those videos, if you actually watch the channel, it's insane. Like, it has to take a month at least to make some of those videos. Are your videos taking a month's worth of your time to create, or do you have the capacity to upload maybe twice a month, or kind of start upping that a little bit now, knowing what you know and taking what you've learned and applying it?
Just seeing if I could find a similar channel doing bee swarm simulator content and how often they're posting, but this channel is just doing a random collection of stuff.
Yeah, it looks like they moved away from it a little bit.
This is interesting in the sense that on the search page, we have videos from 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago, but then others that are 10 hours ago, 2 hours ago. So there's a certain element of content being recycled fairly frequently, and other content that's been on this search page for a while. I think there's opportunities here to start dominating this page for a creator whose focus very much is this one particular game.
Yeah, you could definitely be the person for this game.
So I know we're talking about a gaming channel here, but there are a couple of things that we focused on there, which was cadence and what Dan was talking about, and that could be applied to all channels. So this is why we're saying that even though this is a gaming channel, the fundamentals here look good, but there are areas for improvement, and you could certainly apply that to your channel. So that is Simply Addicted. Moving on to the next channel, we see the Wolfpack. And now this is either an NWO spin-off faction from NWO Black and White and Hollywood Hogan's crew, or it's a channel about lightsabers. Viper's probably the only one who gets that reference.
You just made up a bunch of words.
This was the one that you picked, Viper, wasn't it? So tell us a bit more about the Wolfpack.
Viper's muted.
Turn on your microphone, Viper.
That might help, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So, if you go to the About section of the channel, Rob, they say that they make videos on demand about anything and everything. So that is kind of my first red flag. However, if you go back to the videos and you order them by most popular, it is clear to see what the audience wants from you. Star Wars content as it relates to how you make lightsabers and other Star Wars type weapons and different things like that. Anything that relates to Star Wars for the creator gets a great amount of views. So if I'm this channel, I'm I'm leaning hard into the Star Wars fandom and making more content that relates to Star Wars. Cause clearly that's what the audience is looking for from you.
So we think a rebrand here, and maybe even the channel name. You could be like the DIY lightsaber, probably a better channel name than that. But yeah, as you say, Viper, 9,000 views, 600 views, 50,000 views on some of 12,000 views on some of the shorts, which is incredible stuff. But then, 4 months ago, we see videos about Minecraft. So this is an interesting question then, and I pose it to the audience here as well. There's a lot of random stuff, as the channel description says, but then in the last month, the channel has found their niche. Is there an argument here for unlisting, privating all of that previous stuff and just going 100% all in on this content? It's doing really well.
If the old content is bringing in new viewers.
Yeah, let's just check most popular. Is there anything from the old stuff that's... No, so all of our most popular stuff now is all of the lightsaber stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I would go all in. I would, yeah, definitely unlist everything that's not about making PVC lightsabers. It's a cool niche. There's a cool space to be in.
Maybe to get Jeff into the conversation here, a little bit of thumbnail talk. Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, for their full-length videos, then yeah, they for sure would need to improve that stuff. But I don't know if it looked like a majority of the stuff that was working really well was shorts. So at that point, it's kind of one of those like, I mean, I think making good thumbnails and learning how to do it is a good skill set to have, especially if at some point you don't want to do just shorts anymore. You want to get into long form content on YouTube, then it's something you're absolutely going to need. So I would definitely start working on that, especially like when you see this answering questions about PVC lightsabers. That thumbnail, that ain't it, man. You got a busy background going on. You got red text that's not legible. It's not it. Do they break? How much? No. That's not going to be, you can't read that. So if you're going to take a thumbnail picture, put yourself in front of a blank background. Find a clean wall, find a blue sky, green grass, whatever it is, but find one solid color. And that way you can take a much cleaner picture. If you want to include a lightsaber, whatever it might be, it'll be much easier to tell what we're looking at.
So I guess the first step in this thumbnail evolution might be something like this. Fairly simple background, but you can clearly see.
But even that's a second step. The first step is just entering a search term and doing thumbnail research.
Yeah.
Lightsabers are tough because they're big, long sticks. It's hard to photograph them. It was from hilt.
That one's good.
Yeah,
sword.
This one are you talking about?
Nope, above it.
The above one.
Yeah.
I kind of like this one, which was kind of fairly simple in that they just cut themselves out and blurred the background. That was a simple, effective one. But that's a good one as well.
And look at like the hardware store angle. Like the blur background is of a hardware store building a Star Wars lightsaber from hardware store parts, which makes it more approachable for a lot of people. There's now a lot of people know of a hardware store near them, and they can conceptualize like, oh, I could like learn from this. I could make my own.
Yep.
And what I also find interesting here is, even though the creator has found their niche. Oh no, I'd say they're fan of their topic now, which is Star Wars content. But sometimes they're still not appreciating their specific niche. And what I mean by that is we have all of these videos about lightsabers and are doing pretty well. Even the long form content, 1,000 views, 600 views. And I think maybe I can do this crossover content of ranking the movies. But this one, comparatively speaking, performed fairly poorly. So the creator's probably thinking here, I made a video about Star Wars. I thought that was my topic on YouTube. And while it is, what people are really coming to your channel for is the DIY aspect of making these lightsabers, because it's a niche within Star Wars that's probably not served very well by creators. And so that's where you have to appreciate how narrow you can go with a niche to build up a really strong audience, which you're already starting to do. And we would always encourage experimentation and a little bit of crossover. But this data will give you a good feedback on what your audience is really watching on your channel. Any more from you, Viper? I appreciate that you were the one who picked this channel. I know Dan, Jeff, and I have just gone into a lot of details. Is there anything else that you spotted that you want to maybe pick out?
I would maybe consider leaning into short. The shorts are the bread and butter of the channel. They're bringing in the most views, and I mean, the longer videos aren't really doing it well with the short. So I would just maybe lean into more short and just focus on that moving forward.
Okie dokie. And just one more thing as well, in that they realized that this was a strong element on their channel. I mean, that's a real giveaway, isn't it? You're doing all of these videos that are getting 19 views, 3,500 views, 34 views, and then you have a breakout piece of content, 126,000 views, and the creator immediately pivoted onto that topic and has made nothing else since. It's a really good example of discovering an audience and then serving them up the next video that they want to watch with everything that you subsequently make. So really good stuff there. Now let's move on to the next channel, and it is Taylor Travels the World. They have just over 100 subscribers, and I'm going to throw it to you, Jeff, just for your first impressions on this one.
Sure. So I would say the first things first. If I remember correctly, I believe this is a Mac student, because I could have swore I saw this very latest video, this thumbnail, in our group.
Oh, okay.
So I could have swore that's what the case is here. And this thumbnail looks good. Like, I like the way it looks. The layout is excellent. So and hopefully it's working well in their favor. Hopefully that video is trending better than some of the others. One of the things that's low-hanging fruit here is going to be their channel banner. They definitely would want to adjust that. There's way too much going on, and the text is hard to read because we have the ands, right? We're getting hit with the ands here. We got trip reports and hotel reviews and travel vlogs and new video the first week of everybody. Listen, Taylor Travels World, that's way too much. I would remove all that. Give me the actual value of your channel, elevator pitch, 3 words, whatever that is. Those are the 3 words that belong on your banner, and that's it. Not your name, not all of this, just the elevator pitch. That'd be the very first thing that I would do there. And that's just low hanging fruit. You know, that's something pretty easy to do. Channel banners aren't particularly difficult. The difficult part is coming up with all of what that says in just 3 words.
Mm-hmm. And just looking at the... Okay, so this is the entirety of his content. I'm not necessarily seeing hotel reviews and travel vlogs. I'm seeing airline reviews, mostly speaking. So that might be an opportunity to just narrow down that value proposition. Correct.
Yeah. And that's literally what I recently had to do with mine, because I had a banner that was from when I was doing general tech. So I recently changed it because obviously I've niched way deep into audio, and my banner was still saying kind of like review and tech from, you know, whatever. And it just kind of didn't make sense. It didn't align with what my channel actually portrayed. So I changed it to make it line up with exactly what it is. So if we're doing literally just travel, airline, stuff like that, then let your channel be about that. But they also did a hotel review too. So if you look at the video in the middle, the short.
Yeah, that was one, wasn't it? And again, just comparing your long form content, so ignoring shorts for a while. This one here, 1,500 views, 400 views, 300 views, and then it is a short, so you know, that skews the numbers a little bit.
Yeah, here's the thing though. Hotel reviews and flight or plane reviews, I don't know, man. I mean, I know it's all under travel, but that really are those 2 topics I think are too far apart. Because here's the thing. I am a person who is into watching aircraft and aeronautical content, right? But I'm not into watching hotel room reviews. But sure, I'll watch what's the best airline. Like, I'll watch that video for sure. But a hotel review? Nah, I'm not going to do that. So, I mean, once you've seen one hotel, you've almost seen them all. So,
Viper, general thoughts and observations?
I can't really say much more than Jeff has said. You really got to have that channel focus, man. It looks like airlines and planes are your passion, so lean into that. The thumbnails look good. So yeah, I would say just keep working, man. Also, the other thing is that you might want to work on shortening some of your titles. There, some of them are a little on the longer side, and then we know what happens to long titles, so just work on shortening some of those. But yeah, think you're on your way, man. Just lean more into the airline stuff and see where that takes you.
Yeah, for sure.
I would add more videos, definitely needed. And
Sure,
there's a big missed opportunity right now. I mean, I got this pushed to my news feed the other day. Apparently, JetBlue was thinking about buying Southwest Airlines, or is it Spirit Airlines? One or the other. Now that's a big deal. And will it go through? You know, is that deal still on the table? How long has it been talks? Like, there's a lot of, you could report on it with one short video, just talk about the news, and then you could do another video giving your like opinions on that. I feel like, especially right now, flying, like there's just a lot of news. You could talk about the stress of flying. Like, flying has gotten to be a lot more annoying than it was before the pandemic. You could talk about that. You could talk about ways around that, the best times to fly. Like, you could really be giving people a lot of value. And it looks like that would fit with the channel theme, because you are just kind of talking about different airlines and things about them. So I think that would be all relevant, and that would give you a lot more videos to work with going forward.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of the titles here, and some of the more interesting ones are where they create intrigue and curiosity, like this one here, flying private for less than $100, and that cool shot of what looks to be a smaller plane. But the intrigue there for the potential viewer is how are you able to do that? I'm really intrigued what you get flying private for $100. And then this one with a statement of opinion, like the only way I'm going to fly in the future is with this certain airline, and the thumbnail saying perfect. So again, creating intrigue and curiosity, which is a wonderful segue onto something, Jeff, that we had an expert in to talk about on Thursday's vidIQ Max session, which was talking all about titles, and it was a really incredible session, wasn't it?
Sorry about that. It was, I was muted for a second there. Yeah, no, the session was super, super helpful. It came with a ton of very actionable advice, whether you were a small channel, mid-level, or a higher channel at this point, or more experienced creator. So, and it was all about titles, title strategy, framing, angles for the kind of titles that you make, and really less focus on trying to get something to be picked up in search, and more focus on getting actual humans to actually click on your videos.
Now, I got permission from the Max team to just tease one single screenshot from that session, which was done by Jake Thomas. And this was kind of like the cheat sheet for making good titles. And he said that, let's say your topic is shoulder pain. What you should maybe do is go out onto YouTube and research some proven title strategies from any topic. For example, the 50 most harmful foods people keep eating. And then take that title format and turn it back into your own topic. So that becomes 50 most harmful shoulder exercises people keep doing. So you're taking from proven strategies and applying it to your titles. And this was just a cheat sheet. This was just one slide and about 2 minutes of conversation in a fantastic session, all about going through the fears, desires, motivations of titles. And in terms of getting people to click, it was brilliant. I worked with Jake on a video that we made about titles on the YouTube channel, so you can go watch that. But if you want to take your learning to the next level and have a 45-minute conversation on titles, then that's where we would recommend vidIQ Max. That was one session, Jeff, but what else do you get as a vidIQ Maxer?
So first and foremost, you do get full access to all of the vidIQ boost tools. So let's not sell that short. You still get full access to all the boost tools that we have, all of the different keyword research, AI title generation, thumbnail comparison, tag recommendations. You get access to all of that, competitor research, the whole thing. Plus, then after that, you're going to get 2 guaranteed sessions per month with the group coaches, where we're going to do either guest hosts or guest sessions. And we're also going to be doing answering live Q&A as well. You get access to the private Discord with a bunch of different channels where you can get feedback not only from the coaches, but also from a growing community of enthusiastic and energetic creators who are looking to grow themselves. So you're getting away from a lot of the nonsense and getting into a group of people who really want to move forward. Like the energy, you can feel it in there. And then also, last but not least, when I was talking about the sessions and we say guarantee 2 sessions a month, we've actually been rocking out nearly weekly at this point. And we have an extra special session coming up this Friday with a YouTube employee. So we're going to be talking about algorithm and getting answers directly from the source. So it's going to be an exceptional session. I'm really looking forward to it. Actually, the whole team, we're all looking forward to it. All the Maxers are looking forward to it. So yeah, it's going to be awesome, man.
Tease me more.
Also,
Can't give it all away. Man.
Just so y'all are aware, if you are not in vidIQ Max and you want to hear a little bit of what Jay Thomas has to talk about as it relates to titles, he is this week's guest on the podcast. The podcast will be out Thursday morning for you all, so definitely take a listen to that. We go into a lot about why certain titles work certain ways and the psychology behind the way you title your video. So we had a good chat. So definitely check that out on Thursday morning.
Segues and plugs everywhere. Yeah, so if you go to a podcast, which is free, and you enjoy it and you want to learn more from Jake Thomas, then vidIQ Max is the place to go, along with all of our other sessions. You know, we were talking at the top of the show about me doing the presentation at Vid Summit. You know, it's just one presentation. We already have a conference worth of presentations on copyright, titling. We're going to have a YouTube employee here on Friday. The list just keeps getting bigger. We had Emily D. Baker talking about live streams. I mean, it's already amazing, and it's going to continue to grow. So if you do want to become a Maxer, then check out the link in the video description to get more information. We do appreciate that this is a service that is for serious creators who have a little bit to invest back into their channel through vidIQ Max. That is why we will continue to do all of our free channel auditing, video reviews, etc., etc. But we know some of you want a little bit more, and we just can't offer it in these 2 hours of live streams when we have so many submissions. So do check out vidIQ Max.
It goes down in the Max, y'all. It goes down in the Max.
And yeah, do make sure to join us with our merchandise shirting. Let's now get back to our channel audits. And we're going to audit now a channel called MetalStorm Games. 1,500 subscribers here. Dan, I think this was one that you picked.
It was.
And what are we looking at here? A game development channel, it looks like, perhaps.
Yeah, we have this form where we tell people, if you're a gaming channel, don't you be submitting on this form. And this form, this person submitted, and I'm like, hey, gaming channel. Oh, game development channel. Kind of different audience.
All right, I'll let this one slide.
Yeah, I do love talking about game dev channels because they come in a couple different shapes and sizes, and I've noticed kind of a couple different trends. There's the game development channels that are just like educational. They try and teach up and coming game developers how to game develop. And then there's the channels that try to entertain. They use their skills, their game development skills, for evil, right? Like they go in and they just make ridiculous projects and make awesome content with that. This channel seems to be the former. They are helping game developers, but in a different way. Rather than, it seems that most of their videos anyway, rather than saying, hey, this is how you code a certain type of game or whatever, they are talking about ways in which developers can like get assets. They are doing, in some of their videos here from several months ago, we see like Unity basics and things like that, but spliced within those, $25 thing right there. Make your dream RPG in Unity for $25. Asset packs left and right. And those videos, especially the one in the middle there, 17 asset packs for $25, that did pretty well. I think it was the title, over $500 of low polygon game assets for $25. So I looked into that. I think what they were doing there was pointing out like a sale that was happening.
Right.
And so they kind of became a game developer news channel in that moment. So I guess it's kind of a couple things. They tried it here, right? 3 days ago. Video's not doing super great.
Yeah, there's not enough of a hook there. Like 2 massive asset packs for $30. Okay, well, what should that usually cost? Like, how do you generate some excitement about that cost? Because I mean, obviously, I'm not into Unity and development, but I don't know how lucrative that deal is.
Yeah. So there is that, and their video in the middle there is a good example of what they could have done differently. You know, to talk about the value of it, $500. And then what it costs today. So that was kind of missed in that title and thumbnail. I think this content creator / game developer can keep going in this direction. But if you scroll down a little bit, like Unity Basics line renderer, 1.8K views. there was some different Unity basics video, especially like that one from 6 months ago too. I kind of feel like that's the direction where you're going to get more people. I think the ceiling is higher there. Like game development is something that people do as a hobby. People do it to become game developers as a career. Just like we are educating people on how to have YouTube channels where you could make money. You could be that person for game developers. So yeah, Unity Basics seems to be a term that you need to continue to hammer. And there is a place to talk about the $25 asset packs that used to cost $500, but that's within your educational videos, in my opinion. I think you even could go so far as to eventually get sponsored by some of these sites who maybe sell assets. And now we're talking about a whole different business model whereby you teach Unity Basics and then you say, by the way, see these like low poly models I'm using? I got them from this company. And if you use my link and my code or whatever, you can get 10% off. Like, way different strategy. You still get to bring that value to people, but you still get to do the content that is working for your channel, which is covering the basics.
It's interesting how there is a theme here of their most popular videos are Unity Basics, and that almost forces like the thumbnail and the title to be a little more simplistic as well. If you look at some of these thumbnails, are quite busy and complicated, whereas if it is a basic, you're having to be more basic in your communication of that concept. And so the viewer potentially gets more of an instant recognition of what they're getting into. So I think in terms of content, you might be thinking about doing these like one Unity Basics video, or like 3 or 4 Unity Basics videos in a row. And then one video allows you to explore and do something else, whether it's showing off assets or something else that's educational. But Unity Basics is certainly a theme that their channel has got, but they're not really, I think, leveraging that enough.
Right.
I would say.
And you got to think about this from the perspective of someone who wants to become a game developer too, right? Like Unity Basics, layers, for example. I hope that was descriptive enough. It doesn't look like it was. 404 views. If you can make sure your titles and your thumbnails describe really well what you're going to teach, these videos can get views literally forever. They may start off slow, but what you're doing is building a huge searchable catalog. And, you know, as someone who's dabbled a little bit trying to learn game development, I can tell you I needed very short individual tutorials on different concepts when I was looking into this. And that's what you could offer here. You could offer 3 to 10 minute videos, depending on how long it needs to be. Don't shoot for a certain length because you feel like that's the thing to do. Whatever you feel like you need to do, though, however long you need to teach on one concept. And then you have the searchable video that is something someone like me could like stumble upon and go, oh, thank goodness, someone's just teaching this one concept. And you could probably make so many of those for so many different types of games and build up this massive catalog.
And I think Desiree would have a field day on this channel suggesting business opportunities, because right now you have a donate to the channel through what looks to be a Stream Labs link. There's so many stream names in live streaming programs, and then going to the description of one of your videos. So this Udemy course, is that yours? That's interesting. Should we just click on that?
Check out my Unity.
Is that right? Cool. Look at that.
So you're selling a course.
Yeah, good for them.
600 students as well with a whole. Yeah, so you definitely need to be pushing that more. Yeah. If you haven't already, that's excellent work. Well done, you.
Yeah.
Cool discount there as well. Awesome stuff. So yeah, applause to you for getting into that, because I looked at one of your previous videos and you didn't have any links to that. So yeah, turning your channel into a business early is awesome stuff to see.
Going back and updating all of your videos with those links.
Is that right? Yeah.
You need to just go ahead and do it. It's going to take a little time, but it's going to be worth every penny. Even if you get one person to click, it's going to be worth your time.
So I think the most popular video doesn't have it in there.
No, that's a mistake. Yeah, that's a mistake. I would start, if you want to start off slow with that, go into your analytics and look at your videos that are bringing you in the most views for the past 30 days and use that as a list where you first start updating those links. Start there.
So real-time analytics. So, all right, all of these, last 60 minutes.
Yep.
The highest ones of all of these, stick that link.
That's where you start, 100%.
Beautiful stuff.
And don't forget, you can also put links as an end screen now. So you can link out with end screens. So, yep.
Yep, that's what you need to be doing. Those are like the really high value. Like, and don't be too afraid of giving too much away for free on your YouTube channel, because you're going to have people still go into that course, because the course has the benefit of being structured, and it's going to be more methodical than a YouTube video could ever be. So really, like, yeah, that's what you should be doing. I think the strategy is laid out before you. Good on you for trying the asset pack thing. I just don't think it was delivering the way these videos were.
Mm-hmm. Did that sound effect work? Just to check.
I didn't hear a single thing.
Well, I won't do my next sound effect bit then. We'll just move on to the next channel and figure out why.
Good use Dan's.
Oh, no. I know why it's not working. Right. Thank you, Dan. All right. I'm going to fix my sound effects. In the meantime, Viper, I would like you to introduce us to Alan Mitchell Tech. What are we seeing here? Sorry, Jeff, if you picked this one, but I'll let Viper start, and if you want to.
Yeah, no, for sure. All good.
Why have I seen this channel before? I don't know. Channel looks familiar, but all right. So we got a tech creator. I like the banner, simple, to the point. Short. All the shorts. And we can scroll down a little bit. It looks like you're having some moderate and stuff with the short. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Spiky success, like thousands of views or hundreds of views.
Isn't that the nature of short goes? Like somebody said something like shorts like playing the lottery, and the literally is a lot like that.
Now, I'm guessing to get the full appreciation of this, we need to probably watch one of these shorts.
Actually, before we do that, can we throw it by most popular, Rob?
Yes, we can, Viper. Let's take a look.
Okay, so it looks like
Older phones, SE, 5C, XR.
Yeah, it looks like the retro iPhones are getting you the majority of your views.
No, they're still doing that today. Yeah, there's one there about the SE, but that didn't do as well.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't know. How many other subscribers does the channel have?
Not too many, like 600.
Oh, okay.
Compared to view counts, which are in the thousands frequently.
Yeah. Oh yeah, let's watch one of them and see what's going on here.
Okay, I'm going to do this one, 11,000. This is a simple way to declutter your iPhone.
Here's a simple way to declutter your iPhone home screen. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your phone in juggle mode. Then you're going to click this right here. Then you're going to uncheck every single one of these except for the first one right here. And now you have a more minimum home screen setup with one home screen page in the app library. Here's a simple...
That was simple to the point in terms of a strategy. Did they call it jiggle mode? I've never heard it called that when you're long.
I know exactly what they mean.
I do.
Yeah.
I've just never heard it called that before. It's funny.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I would say one thing that they need to do, obviously, is it looks like they're trying a couple of different things, which is cool. But when you're in tech, and Viper can speak to this as well, when you're in tech, we have trending topics all the time, whether it's Apple, whatever it might be. There's trending topics all the time. So one thing that Alan Tech needs to be doing is looking at what's hot in tech right now. So what are upcoming things? What are the rumors? What are the leaks? What are things that are going on? Because sometimes we're talking about some older stuff. Now, mind you, the old iPhone SE stuff did well for you, but right now it seems to not be picking up as well. So I'd be looking at what the trending topics are right now in tech, like the AirPods Pro 2 leaks, Apple M2, things of that nature. And that's where I would start focusing moving forward on stuff that is being talked about right now. Whereas like Beats Flex, those came out a long while back, like over a year. So
here's a question, because I appreciate exactly where you're coming from here, Jeff, but maybe their unique angle is that I'm going to cover stuff that's maybe 2 or 3 years old, that's more affordable to somebody who doesn't have access to the latest tech. Maybe that's intentional, just as a counter conversation.
Yeah, no, for sure. And even then, when the question of access comes in, you don't have to have it in hand to talk about it. Yeah, and that's a common misconception with a lot of tech channels, is that, if I don't have it in my hands, I can't talk about it. I fell into this myself. And then I started realizing that a ton of people were making speculative content and getting billions of views. So, and that's billions with a B. So it's one of those things where either you can join them and, get a piece of the pie, or continue to put limitations on yourself that don't exist.
This is what Matt Talks Tech does. All he does, well, not all, but a lot of his content is around speculation, reviews, prices for stuff that hasn't been even released, so he doesn't have access to it. And he crushes it on.
Yeah, speculative content, man. But Viper, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, although I will caution that once that product is out and it's in people's hands, they ought to get a little weary if you don't have it in your hands if it's already out there in the public.
That's a good point.
Correct.
Yeah. Move on.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey Jeff, I remember when the one I think it was the Sony WF-1000X3 came out, and I did a speculative video, and they were already out in reviewers' hands. Oh man,
Roasted.
Got creamed, yo.
Now we did watch one of these videos, and we did a little bit of a critique on it. You know, it was saying it was punchy, it fast, it was quick, it just gave you everything you needed to know about the content. And so, you know, we rated that as a fairly good short, didn't we, collectively? Dan, that is something we're going to do in a lot more detail tomorrow, right? We're going to actually review people's videos instead of their channels.
Yes, this is something we've been doing the last several Wednesdays now. We're going to click into your videos. We're going to talk about how's the intro. You know, maybe was there an opportunity in your outro to have this throw to a new video? We're also, tomorrow is going to be a little bit different. We're also going to have a bit of a thumbnail focus. We're still kind of figuring out how tomorrow is going to go. But tomorrow there is going to be a theme around thumbnails as well. So be sure to tune in the same time this stream started today. Tomorrow we'll have that stream up for you.
Lovely stuff. But actually, some sad news. This is working now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
500 likes, 600 people watching. You need to fix that right now. That's all I've got. Thanks. Oh, now we're playing all of the weird sound effects.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
The claw. The claw rules all. The claw knows all. It is ever wise. All hail the claw.
All hail the claw. Why do we have a claw on screen? Well, it's because now we go into the random phase of the channel audits. You've been submitting your channels, and we're up to 435 non-gaming channels and 459 gaming channels. So what we do to make this a little bit fairer and have a nice mix of channels that we're auditing, we make sure that every channel is included, first of all. So I'll just go up to 500 to make sure that we don't miss any out. We pick a non-gaming channel and then a gaming channel to keep up the mix of reviews and audits for all of you watching. And the first one we pick out, what on earth was that?
Perfect timing.
78. Like, okay.
A lot of people been hijacked, y'all.
Everyone's just experimenting with their own sound effects right now. That's cool with me. The first channel we're going to audit randomly is So Flow Outdoors. Now, what I want to stress at this point is that all of the channels we've already looked at, we maybe glance at them for 30 seconds to a minute as we're picking them. And now we are coming across these channels for the very first time. First impressions are key. As a viewer, you want to know if you're in the right place as quickly as possible. And so that's where we get to experiment with this part of YouTube psychology. So Slow Flow Outdoors, from the channel banner, it looks like you're going to be catching some very, very large fish. And do the thumbnails confirm that? I'm not that convinced. There are some thumbnails with the kit, with the catch, so to speak. Like those look pretty cool. But then there's a live stream here with no attempt at a custom thumbnail. And then some shorts. I'm hearing noises from you, Jeff. It sounds like you want to chime in.
Well, yeah, it just, it's one of those things where I know not everybody takes live streaming as seriously as I do, but you can create, huh?
I do, Jeff.
Yeah, I heard that, man. No, but it's just one of those things where with a live stream, you can get replays out of it. You can get a ton of views out of it. Matter of fact, I think I've pulled something like 300,000 plus views in the last 90 days on just my live stream replays. Wow. So if you title them, if you thumbnail them the way that you would do a video, but also get into the content as quickly as possible. Like this last one right here, Google Pixel Buds Pro. 8.3 thousand views streamed 4 days ago, and that's an hour long. So you can imagine the watch time on that bad boy. So, but that's a lot of what I do.
Looking at this, Jeff, like on a thumbnail or whatever, you wouldn't be able to immediately tell it's a live stream.
Yeah, unless you really look at like streamed 4 days ago. But the beauty of what I also do is I go in and I'll put in timestamps so that people don't have to watch the whole thing. They can skip to the sections that they want to watch that are most relevant to them.
As you did, right? Wow, right here. That's a
and I also put them in the check the pinned comment. I even put in the pinned comment so that people can find it even easier.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's all about the viewer satisfaction and the viewer experience. I'm trying to make it as best of a viewer experience for them as possible, and that's why I go ahead and do it that way. But this is what I mean, though. Whatever the topics are for your Sunday night live, make sure when you're going to go live, try to have a topic in mind. Like, hey, I'm going to talk about fishing, or I'm going to talk about lures tonight, or I'm going to talk whatever it is. But have that topic in mind. Make a thumbnail, make a title around it. And then when you start the stream, get into it quickly. And then after that, if you want to just have shenanigans and spitball around with your viewers, knock yourself out.
Mm-hmm. Any general thoughts beyond the live streaming aspect there then, Dan and Viper?
When you're holding up those catches, which are going to be the big thing that sells your thumbnails, I would say for shorts too, you want to be holding them up, if you can, against like the blue sky or something like that, because sometimes you have like a greenish fish on like a greenish pond or grass or something, and it's really like undercutting the catch. I think it's taking away the epicness. Also, some of your thumbnails, like the one with the green fish on the green background, have like black bars on them too, so it does feel like not enough time is going into these thumbnails. Yeah, there's probably some missed opportunities there. Shorts wise, some very encouraging views on some of these. A lot of them are getting into the low thousands. One thing I noticed, I think, from this one, I'll just mute the sound here.
Release of this giant.
You are on more than one social media platform, excellent, but YouTube doesn't typically like you watermarking other social media platforms on their videos. So if you want to download that without the watermark, that will be much better, because if one of these went viral, if you got like 1 million views out of it, you wouldn't be eligible for a shorts bonus payment because of that TikTok branding watermark. So make sure going forward, I think you have done on most of these, like some of them don't have a watermark from what I can see, like this one. So I'm wondering why some of them do and some of them don't.
Yeah, I would definitely try and record them outside of the TikTok app if possible, and then you can distribute them wherever you want: Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, Snapchat, whatever you want to do. But record them natively, and that way you don't have to worry about any watermarks.
Anything else, Viper, that you spotted here before we move on?
No, I think you got covered. I think they need to spend a lot of time figuring out how to do capable thumbnail, because they are missing opportunities to view with the thumbnails.
Yeah, cool. All right, and we all agreed thumbnails need a little bit of work. Let's move on to the next channel. And now this will be a gaming channel, and it's channel 110.
Forums are down below if you're just joining us, by the way. You can potentially get in this random draw we're doing right now. Just be sure to fill out the appropriate form.
And we are looking at Fanta Steve. And I know gaming channels are not your forte, Viper, but if you just want to chime in with your initial response to this one, and then we'll get Dan's thoughts on it.
All right. So the cool thing, what I tell you guys all the time is that it's so cool when I can look at a channel and instantly know what I'm getting and what the channel's about. And just by looking at this channel, I know I am on a Minecraft channel. So I like that. Some of these thumbnails could be reworked. They're kind of dull, and they are not crisp enough, in my opinion. Especially the one that says a Minecraft create mod state hi to Thomas. I mean, there has to be a better way to craft that thumbnail, because from where I'm looking, it just looks like a bunch of blocks together. It doesn't really look like Thomas the Train. So I don't know. You might want to figure out how to rework some of these thumbnails. But I like the channel focus. I like where you're going with that. I like that the titles are relatively on the shorter side, most of them, or some of them. Let's see. Can we talk about most popular? See what's working.
That's your lot. So everything is here on screen. I think the most popular one, ironically, Viper, is the Thomas the Tank Engine one.
Of course.
I guess what we can say is that this thumbnail could certainly be better. but at least there's a very recognizable object on it, front and center. Whereas with the other ones, there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of elements. They are somewhat chaotic. But this might be a good starting ground for a lot of things, like the focus of, I don't know, train mods in Minecraft, particularly on Thomas the Tank Engine. You know, certainly maybe taking that a little bit further and doing all of the characters in the show might be an approach to have. Dan, what do you think?
So not to discount that idea, I think that's actually kind of cool, but the create mod itself is a good place to be. And this creator does have the mod and they are trying some stuff with it. The create mod is in a Minecraft mod that really changes the game in a very, very unique way. And it's very in-depth mod. It's very complex. And what you did there with that Thomas the Tank Engine video is that you've created a recognizable character using a recognizable mod. Sure. And a lot of people grabbed that. The next one down is Minecraft Create Mod, how to make floating trains. But the thumbnail did not deliver this time. Like, not even in the slightest. Yeah. Huge black bars all the way around. The plane is blending into the green background. It looks like a plane, but it says floating train. I'm very confused on every level. And I would go ahead and just redo that thumbnail and keep the video up and see if that changes anything for you.
You thought that was a plane? I thought it was a carriage.
I see a plane trying to take off from the sky, or take off into the sky. I don't know. Obviously, we're both wrong because it's supposed to be about a floating train. So what I would say, though, is that if you go back to their latest videos, yes, they are trying things, but there's another like missed opportunity. So in the latest one, Minecraft Create Mod, but it's just the memes. I think that can work. The problem is you've taken the logo and you tried to shove things in it, whereas you probably should have just made the Among Us character in Minecraft and let that rule the thumbnail. Yeah, it would have resonated more. People would have seen a recognizable character in Minecraft. Also, opening with a Rickroll might make people feel like, is this the whole video? It might be. It's not. So if you, it's funny that it's like Minecraft with the memes and blah, 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 but it looks like that Rickroll thing went on a long time and it could have made a lot of people click off instantly because they thought, oh, okay, you trolled us, you got us, we'll move on.
Yeah, Rickroll at the beginning of a video, if it's not actually a Rickroll, is probably the worst thing you can do for audience retention.
Yeah. This looks like a montage of other people's memed Minecraft creations.
Yeah, they're putting like different people in the credits. I do hope you did ask them to use their videos, but yeah, that's a cool way to do things. I would say it's just the thumbnail
that was
didn't
funny.
Deliver.
Look at this on a description. I just made a chuckle. YouTube, please don't give me a copyright.
That won't be up to YouTube. That'll be up to the individual creators. YouTube is going to let them know that one of their videos was found in somebody else's video, and they will decide what to do with you from there. That's why you want to be getting permission when you do stuff like that. The automatic copyright system will alert all of those creators to the presence of their content in your content.
And I guess that means it wasn't original content. Maybe this was.
Quite possibly, yeah. This could have done better because it's a video that you made.
That is Fanta Steve. Let's move on to the next channel that we're going to pick out from the claw. And we are looking at channel 286. All right. 286 is offering us a music channel, and they call themselves, let's see here, Lil Marzi Productions. Well, this is unlike any music channel I've ever seen. Hulk type beats. Let's just have a quick listen to this. Okay, so it looks as if they're using music sampling software and creating beats in that sense.
This might be the case of, like, could you have shown you making that? Can you put an educational twist on it? It would have been kind of cool to see that come together.
So it looks like they're trying to tie in their beats with something from popular culture. Whether it's the Hulk beat, I'm also seeing the Spider-Man type beat. this robot type beats, but maybe the timing is off on some of these. Like, what about if you did an Obi-Wan? Could you do a Star Wars Obi-Wan beat? I don't know if maybe there's enough of a fit there.
Probably. You'd want something that's more coming up soon, though. Obi-Wan's old now. I would say the next Marvel show that they're going to do, or next Star Wars Andor, for example, is going to be something that comes out, I think, in September. So you could do a Star Wars beat around that point. And I think it's kind of an interesting concept. This is what we tell music channels, right? Like, try and get in on a trend and present your music that way. And it does seem like they're trying that. It just feels like the trends they're using are not trending at this time.
Another question is, how searchable is this content? I think generally we say that most content is discovered through browse and suggests, 70%. But for music, that can be a bit more of a shift back towards search content in terms of what type of beat are you trying to tie into, whether it's lo-fi, hip hop, etc., etc. But unfortunately, nobody's searching for a Hulk type beat or probably granny type beats in this weird, truly horrifying, scary thumbnail here. I think it may be fine to have those elements in the thumbnail, but from a search perspective, maybe it needs to be a bit more literal in that sense. Any other thoughts, Jeff, Viper, that you might add to what we're talking about here?
No, I'm in agreement. I mean, if we're going to do trends, focus on trends that are trending right now. And if we want to do music and beats, it's pretty much the same thing. You got to make beats around stuff that people may actually be looking for, especially if you don't have an established fan base that's going to show up for the random stuff that you decide to post.
You also got to be looking at channels that are doing this too and seeing what they're doing for their thumbnails, because these thumbnails feel very random. I know they make sense for each video and blah, 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 but does it make sense for a channel that's doing beats? And maybe I'm wrong. I haven't done the research, but I think you should.
So here's my thing. If you are on YouTube, and more importantly, if you submit a channel to vidIQ for review, audit, whatever, then I am under the impression that you want to grow your channel. So if you want to be on YouTube for the purpose of growing your YouTube channel, every time you upload any piece of content, you have to ask yourself, why should someone else watch this video? What value? What does it offer a potential viewer? If you can't answer that, or if you look at the title and thumbnail and you can't get that clearly, you got to rework it. But every piece of content you upload needs to have some type of value proposition for a potential viewer. Otherwise, you're going to get 5 views in 4 hours.
Yeah. There is perhaps a disconnect between what the creator is pitching and what the viewers' expectations are in some of these thumbnails and titles. That is Lil Marzi Productions. Let's move on to the next one, and I think we'll do another non-gaming one here, and this will be channel 326, and they call their channel Dividend Obsession, sharing my passion for passive income. That's a cool channel name and a very simple direct value proposition. I like that. I'm just going to throw it over to you three then. Just general thoughts on thumbnails and titles.
Some of these thumbnails have way too much text. And some of the text is unreadable.
Some or all?
I can read some of it, but most
maybe not all of them. Yeah,
but these thumbnails need a lot of work. I mean, that's the thing about putting text. That's why I tell you guys all the time, if you're gonna put text on your thumbnail, try to limit it to 3 words or less, just because you got to remember, people are watching most of these videos on a mobile device. You're talking 5, 6, 7-inch screens, and if I can't read this on a desktop, nobody's trying to read that on a mobile device. They're gonna go right past your video to the next one. So you got to make that text big, bold, and make it legible for people watching on smaller screens.
Let's talk about approachability. This is a channel that knows their stuff. They're using words like dividends, so I assume they're very intelligent. Stocks intimidate me, so I think a lot of people.
You use the word dividends. You're an intelligent person. Sorry, sorry.
That's funny. I just think that a lot of people, they might feel as though you're talking a bit over their head. And you are probably giving very valuable advice in these videos. I think your titles and your thumbnails should focus more on the passive income bit, the benefit of focusing on the topic of the video, rather than just spitting out the topic of the video. The best dividend stock in the consumer discretionary, it got truncated because too many big words. So I'm looking at the video on the right, top right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Discretionary sector is
yeah.
the final word there.
Think about how big some of those words are when you're trying to help people generate passive income, which is something everybody can relate to. Like everyone wants to make money that just kind of comes in forever, right? Like I think everyone would agree if you give them the tools and you make it easy, they might try to go out and get a passive income doing something. And in your case, it's going to be stocks. So I think you always need to approach it from the perspective of somebody who is not doing this already. Therefore, they do not know what a lot of these words mean. And you need to keep your titles and your thumbnails way more simple and keep that person in mind. I think approachability is the main problem this channel is facing.
I also think that some of these thumbnails are not approachable in their understanding. I want to take this one as an example. Let's just imagine there is no title. When you look at that thumbnail, what is it communicating to you? And the answer is you don't know. This many of something. We need to add an element of financial gain or loss or stocks. Here's another one. Look at that growth. The growth of what? Your bank account, a certain stock. Look at this one. It's just you with some brands in the thumbnail, but it doesn't tell me a what or a why. The best five of what? So just look at all of these videos, remove the titles, and then see how clear they are for somebody who's just scrolling through the feed very fast and they want to pause on a particular thumbnail that speaks to them instantly. And I don't think these do. In terms of, simplicity, these are actually too simple because they're not giving a specific why or a topic in most of these.
That listicle one should have been top 5 whatever stocks, right? So top 5 dividend stocks, it should have been top 5 stocks. Like, I mean, it's pretty straightforward, big bold text. Doesn't have to be going this way. It could be going this way to take advantage of all that space. 'Cause look at the blank space above and below that. And then the date that's at the bottom, it's being covered by the timestamp. So don't do that.
I would be tempted to place an icon or a brand for one of these, and then some number that relates to stocks, whether it's like up 30%, down 24% or whatever. Yeah. And then there's an instant recognition that, you're talking about probably something financial about these companies. So I have a bit more clarity than just this thumbnail as is.
So yeah, Best Buy logo and then a big red minus 30% with
exactly.
an arrow pointing down. Yeah, something dead simple, and you pointing is totally fine. One approach, if you're gonna
this one, sorry to interrupt, but this one, like, you just use a background with a graph going up and some like blurred numbers. If there's an instant recognition there, you're talking about stocks or something financial. That, although it's still a thumbnail that needs a lot of work, that is instantly more interpretable by the viewer. Do continue that. Sorry, I wanted to just point that out.
If you're looking to take on the advice of like making your content more approachable, not only what I was saying earlier, but the thumbnails as well. The place I would start is talking about money that you made in a certain time frame. You know, like, so you holding some money and it's like, $1,000 1 week or something like that. Like when I think passive income, those are the types of thumbnails I'm thinking. So I still think you can approach passive income from a stock point of view, but you still need you need to fit into the space still. And I also love the idea of like pointing to a specific brand and having like up or down on their stock, because that's going to make people start thinking as well, like, maybe I should have invested in McDonald's,
I instantly think of these, how much YouTube paid me for how many subscribers or how many views, that element of passive income, and how they always show some sort of number on screen or they blur it out to create a little bit of a tease.
Yeah.
That might be my potential approach to this.
Yeah, I think what's lacking a little bit here, and I've mentioned it before on this stream and multiple streams, is a little bit of thumbnail research beforehand, because the thumbnails are just all over the place right now. Like every thumbnail is completely different. So even if I want to binge watch another one of their videos, the thumbnail for that next video is going to be completely different. So there's no consistency. There's nothing to kind of draw them together. There's almost no style to it. So one of the things that I would really be looking at is, anytime you're going to make a video for a dividend obsession, make sure you're typing that in search, getting a good idea of what people are actually clicking on, and then start sort of developing a style of thumbnail that people will be able to recognize as yours. It could be the use of a specific color of text, a specific font, because every thumbnail's got a different text, different font, different size. So you got to start getting that together, just not randomly every single one, but start putting something together a little bit.
Look at that, Jeff. Even a potato firm can have a value proposition.
Yeah.
Seeing possibilities in potatoes. Just what can you do there? I played the video just as a kind of quick video review, Dan. You know, something that we're going to get into a lot more detail on tomorrow. But when we look at this one, once the stock is finished, it's just on stocks now. Right. Okay, so that's interesting. The set dressing here could do with some work, couldn't it? In terms of, we have these sports flags in the background. That's not really related to the topic you're talking about. It looks as if there's only one light source, and it's coming from here, because I can see that it's casting a shadow there. The camera angle looks as if it's quite low down, so it's pointing almost like at an up angle, which gives him almost like a position of superiority. And I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that as a viewer. Or any other thought. Let's check out the audio on this one. Just turn it up.
At today's video.
Yeah.
So each week I look through all the stocks that are going ex-dividend.
Sounds like the microphone is some distance away from the creator as well. So these would all be things that we would be advising on improving if we did a video review. And as I tracked along the timeline, it's just like almost like a PowerPoint slide, and they change every 30 seconds or so. So more B-roll pattern interrupts there potentially.
Yeah, there's a lot of work going into these videos. I have to imagine putting together those slides takes a lot of your time. But when we're talking about YouTube and we're talking about audience retention, are you in the video for 8 minutes talking behind those slides, adding enough value for the people who are there to get this information? Could they not just kind of skim through and look at each slide and go, got it? It kind of feels like you're revealing everything for several minutes at a time, in one slide, and speaking to it for quite some time. I would be referencing the slides little by little, using little bits of B-roll here and there. So yeah, I do think production-wise, and microphone, camera, everything we mentioned about lighting, some improvements that could be made there as well. I think also this creator has to ask themselves, because we heard them too. They were definitely talking to the audience from a perspective of, you already know most of the stuff I'm saying. So if that's the case, my advice from earlier of like, oh, this content's not very approachable for the new viewer, that you would be fine with that. But if that's the case, then you need to be going out and doing the research. The channels that are at your level, right? The ones that are talking at the level that you're talking, how do they approach this content? If you're going to not worry about people who are getting into stocks, you only want to deal with people who are well educated in this subject, then you need to be looking at the titles and the thumbnails and the types of content that are working for the channels that you would be competing with. But it's going to be like a choice. I personally think there'd be more opportunities to kind of bring new people into the space, because you mentioned passive income, which is a very, very approachable topic.
And let's finish this audit on a positive. You clearly have a passion for the topic you want to talk about, and you want to talk about it on a frequent basis, 2-3 times a week. And so we see your commitment. There's just some fundamental creator concepts that we want you to try and get better at, so that it reaches a broader audience, because you're certainly putting in a lot of effort, and you're starting to get like a solid regular view count, 50 views roughly per video, and you've surpassed 100 subscribers. But there's a lot of things that you can work on to improve the channel and take it just like to the next step. So you're starting to grow towards 1,000 subscribers quicker than you currently are. That is a Dividend Obsession. Right, next channel. There's going to be a gaming channel, and it's going to be channel number 45 from our list. And it is Papa Belly. I have no idea what their channel is going to be about until we load it up. Subscribe or else. Nice threatening channel banner.
Huh. It's pretty strong opinions about Halo Infinity War here, or Infinity War. You know what I mean? Halo Infinite. They're really trying the different types of meme titles, right? The .exe titles.
I still don't get that. Like 3 years on from first seeing that in a title.
Whatever it is, I don't think people are necessarily probably doing that anymore. It's kind of an old. When it comes to memes, the culture is constantly changing. So that's something to consider here. The way these thumbnails are constructed, what I will say is like, dang, they're putting a lot of work into
good.
these. Yeah,
they do look good. Yeah,
they do look good. That looking at the titles, they're just not making titles that just feel very clickable. I have a. This is going to sound really harsh, but I'll explain myself in a second. When I see these titles, I think the creator did not do what I do, which is ask themselves, who cares? Whenever I'm about to post a video, I look at the title that I chose. Usually I have it written out like the day before or something. And I take a second look after I've kind of let the video sit on my mind and went to sleep, right? Take a second look the next day and look at it and go, who cares? And if I can't answer that, if I'm having trouble answering the question, who would click on this? Who cares? Then I will change that title. I will keep testing different titles and just typing them in, just staring at them for a while and seeing how they feel. And do I care yet? Do I care yet? Do I care yet? Until I feel like I care, I'm not posting the video. So that's what I think is missing from this channel. I think they're trying to go for this meme style content. It's limited success. There's more videos. There's some videos that have more views than others, and I would be looking at those for answers. But at the end of the day, I think that exercise would help.
Yeah, the who cares filter is something that everyone trying to grow their channels needs to have in place before they hit record on their camera or their phone.
Yep.
Does anyone care? And you have to be really honest with yourself. Don't just think, oh, that's a good idea for a video. Yeah, okay, cool, good idea for a video. Does anyone care? No, then it's a bad idea for a video. It has to get past the who cares filter before it'll make it onto your channel. That's for everybody.
A lot of work we see going into the editing.
I thought the editing looked fantastic,
Yeah.
just from the small pieces that we've seen. So I think definitely in terms of thumbnails, video production quality, they're of a high standard. So is it the who cares aspects, like the pitch itself, that have just not connected with their audience yet?
Packaging, baby. Y'all need to understand packaging is critical. Like when you are at a magazine stand, right, and you're looking at a book, and you're looking at a book of magazines, and you're trying to figure out which magazine to pick up. Packaging, man. Like they keep saying, like we keep saying, like, why should somebody click on your video? It's all about the packaging. Does the title have an element of fear, curiosity, or desire in it? If it doesn't, I want to figure that out. The thumbnail, same thing. Does the thumbnail have an element of curiosity, fear, or desire? And if it doesn't have any of those elements, figure it out. But you really need to hone in on why somebody should click on your content, because knowing that why and being able to communicate that why to a potential viewer is critical to growing on YouTube.
And we also miss a step here, Dan and Rob. When we say, do people care? How to verify if people care, right? So the verification of if people care. And one place that I usually tell people to start is vidIQ's keyword research tool first. You know, that's the first place to start, is to take a look and see, is anybody even searching for this? Is there any sort of, what's the right word? Any traffic around the video that I'm trying to make? And you can also take it to Google Trends as well. That's another option where you can look at that and see, is this topic trending up? Is it trending down? Basically, does anyone care on planet Earth? So that's another way you can do it. But that's just two of the ways, two tools you can use to verify, does anyone care?
I was trying to think of a good example of where we've got this wrong and then we got it right the second time. So we made this video about 2 or 3 years ago which is about how to unlock every single tool on YouTube. You know, how many subscribers do you need for custom URLs, community tab, and so on. And this is how I pitched the video the first time. You know, literally, how many subscribers do you need to fully unlock YouTube? And then all of the features. And the video didn't do that well. You know, 30,000 views over 1,200 days. So that's what, 4 years. And so I thought to myself, I'm going to have another go at this, but I'm going to completely change the pitch of the video. And I changed it to, where is it? Because it's a video that we made fairly recently. This one. And the pitch was instead, if you're a small channel, you know, somebody who doesn't have a many subscribers, you can actually still do all of these things. And the video is essentially the same. You know, you need 0 subscribers to get custom thumbnails, live stream, etc., etc. You need 100 subscribers to get custom URLs. You need 1,000 subscribers to monetize. But just to pitch, you know, pitching it to the small channel, but you can still do all of this. You can unlock all of these features. And this video is doing tremendously well. It's just a complete change in fortunes for the video because I changed the pitch, the marketing of the video. And I don't know if it necessarily relates back to where's the channel gone now? I think I've lost it. Was it? It's not that one. Where was it? Ah, it's on this one. I don't know if it necessarily relates back to this channel in general, but you know, we're seeing that the quality of the content is good, but people perhaps are not clicking on it or YouTube's not sharing it, and we need to figure out. The creator needs to figure out why. Sorry, Viper, I did hear you in the background. Go ahead.
No, I said look at the traffic source of that video that you were showing. You got 83% of the view from browse, man. That's what you want.
Yeah. Even though really it's a search-based type of content, I want to try and appeal to the human side of it, the small creator.
So everything that we've said about this channel, I completely agree. There's one more thing that I want to touch on real quick, and that is the middle video there. Halo Infinite events suck. 2 weeks ago. So is this topic, is the other thing you need to ask yourself, is this topic still relevant? Now, it might be, like maybe Halo Infinite just had an event and maybe a bunch of people played it and this is the right time to talk about it. I'm not playing Halo, I don't know. But I do know that when Halo Infinite came out, there were some strong opinions in general about it. So when I see a video about something in Halo Infinite not doing well, I think back to when the game released months and months ago and think to myself, did you cover this video too late? Did you cover this topic too late? Again, just a dummy check. I'm not saying you did or you didn't. I'm saying that's what I would be doing. I would be asking myself, wait a minute, who cares? You know, are people playing Halo Infinite today? Was there an event recently? Is there a reason to talk about this topic? Or do I just kind of feel like it right now? And then go out and continue your research.
Those videos are just like exhausting to watch for me. Like there's just so much going on.
Yeah, the editing is great. The thumbnails are great. Like I do think they're doing a lot of really cool stuff. It's just everything else we talked about. I think if this creator can find what works for them out of all the advice we've given and apply it, I think they could really see themselves in a different place on YouTube.
All right, I'm going to forewarn you folks. If you want to get your channel audited in the last quarter of this live stream, I highly recommend you subscribe right now, and I'll explain why in a few minutes. But first, we will audit another channel from The Claw, and this is going to be a non-gaming channel this time. I think a lot of the things that we just spoke about on that gaming channel really were concepts that had nothing to do with gaming in particular. Those were all very much general, fundamental pieces of advice, weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
This is why you should be watching every channel to learn more.
That's really the thing, right? Like we talk about specific channels, and there are specific channels here. They want their channel audited. They want channels like their channel audited. But we're always coming from this, like from the same perspectives, right? Like Jeff and Viper and Rob all had tech channels. I had a gaming channel, and we feel very confident in our advice to cooking channels, because a lot of the YouTube fundamentals apply. So we do hope that even if it's a channel that's nothing like yours, you can glean something from it.
Yep.
Except dank meme reaction channels, I do still really struggle with them, and that's why I always ask for Viper's advice on those. The watcher on Who, is anyone a Doctor Who fan who can maybe off this one? All right, Dan. So what are we seeing here generally in terms of the Doctor Who universe?
Classic Doctor Who. Even as a fan of the show, like this has been a struggle for me. I've gone back and watched, and then I have to stop for a while and come back to it. I've definitely not watched all of classic Doctor Who. So Doctor Who is about to have its 60th anniversary, and I don't know what this channel's really doing right now. I don't know if they're just playing clips from episodes or if they're speaking about old episodes. But what I would be doing, if you're a fan of classic Doctor Who, is comparing it to current Doctor Who and trying to tie in whatever you can learn about the 60th anniversary to that content. But it just depends on what you're doing. So they're talking about the evolution of the Sontaran. So they are bringing it into 2021. Okay. Is anyone going to read this?
It's not a particularly exciting introduction, is it? Let's just jump into these bits.
Thank God for the timestamps.
All right, so static image and then text.
I need a Doctor Who fan to like tell me about this. I definitely don't want to do the reading like for a video like this.
Yes. So a long intro like that.
Watch his review.
Okay, so this is voice narration one, so not all like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say for a long intro like that, you better get in there and start talking to me and let me know. Don't put the burden on the viewer to have to read all of that text. Don't do that. So, because if I would have clicked on that video, because I have a lightweight interest in Doctor Who as a sci-fi fan, if I would have clicked on that video and saw a bunch of text that went on for a minute, I would have done one of two things. Either one, I would have skipped and hoped I landed on something that was entertaining, or two, I would have clicked off and found a better video. So
you would have probably paused. You would have probably paused at this point and thought, "Is this it?" And then started to hunt around the video to find something interesting. Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
When I'm on YouTube, I'm on YouTube to watch video. I'm not on YouTube to read. If I want to read, I can go pull up my Kindle. Okay, y'all need to calm down.
That's another T-shirt. If I want to read, I'll go my Kindle. So, in terms of what aspect of Doctor Who they're looking at, Dan, here, is it mostly the older series, the historic episodes? It looks to be. I'm not seeing any of the newer Doctor Who's in these thumbnails.
And I would be when I see a thumbnail that's the evolution of blank. I want to see the evolution in the thumbnail. I want to see the master of old and then like a newer version of the character side by side.
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
you know, and that would, without even reading the title, I know what you're doing. You know, in the video, that's the kind of thing. Yeah. See, I'm worried about. Is this another one where it's not going to be commentated?
I think so.
Yeah, and I'm glad we looked at it. Like this is why video reviews are fun to do sometimes, because we would have never known that without clicking into it, right? And this is like, you could be putting this content out there, YouTube could be testing it, your retention could be through the floor, and we would have never known without clicking on this video. I think the retention on these videos is doing very poorly, and even if your title and thumbnail are delivering on something, YouTube is very quickly realizing this content is not going to work and it's not going to spread it anymore. You have your retention graphs and I don't.
I'm curious. Sort of my most popular. Okay, there's one here with 5,000 views. One here with 18,000 views. So this one is just images and text, which is done okay. What about this one? So the majority they are of that nature. I mean, there are faceless channels that do that, but they do it in a much snappier way. I can imagine like each of these text with images, videos could be half as long.
Yeah.
And it would still be interpreted by the viewer.
I think this is a great type of content for like a podcast style show where someone's like talking about it and there's images on the screen. If you don't want to be the voice, that's fine, but hire a voice actor then. Like get somebody to do that for you, because you got to respect the viewers. You got to respect their time. They're coming to you, they're clicking on your videos, and you got to respect yourself. You've done the research, you've put all this together, and I'm sorry, like YouTube is, like Viper said, like people will go to a different medium if they want to read. They're going to use a different thing for that. It's just not what you expect on a YouTube channel.
Exactly. And for the love of God, don't be another text-to-speech channel.
Oh,
There's plenty of good narrators out there. I've seen them on Fiverr and other websites. And there are some amazing ones, so many different voices, so many different styles of speaking, so many different accents. So there's definitely some good stuff to be had if you don't want to be the voice of your channel.
Those are the two most popular villains, I would say.
The evolution of something in Doctor Who. Now, that could be, you could move from villains to the Doctor Who's themselves. Like, how did each individual Doctor evolve over their period over the series? That feels like a theme that could work for the channel.
You could easily do a whole video on how the personality shifted just between the two actors. What did that mean for the character? And each pair of doctors could have a video. Like, there's so many cool things I think you could do with a channel like this, and they're being done too. I mean, you can go out into the Doctor Who YouTube space, and there's so many channels doing so many things. And I bet you the most successful ones are a pleasure to watch because you can hear what they're talking about. There's a passion in their voice, and I think you're not going to find a channel that's blowing up where it's simply music and a whole bunch of text.
Yeah, we have drifted significantly into the video review there, but it kind of felt necessary once we started looking at the videos themselves. So that is the Watcher on the Who. Now, I asked all of you to subscribe because what we're going to do next is turn on subscriber only mode, which means that you can only send a message on chats if you are subscribed to the channel. And the reason you may want to send a message right now is because we're going to shift from the claw to our giveaway random selector tool. We just need to think of a hashtag to use for this channel live stream. Any suggestions?
I definitely love Doctor Who.
Rest in peace, live chat.
Rest in peace, live chat.
Yeah.
I was trying to convert everyone to Doctor Who fans, but yeah, I like that better.
No. I wasn't giving a suggestion. I was just saying because anytime we do one of these, it's RIP for the live chat.
Rest in peace, live chat, as you now all type that in the live chat. So what this is going to do, if you type it in once, that's going to enter you, as you can see now, into this random selection. Now, you only need to do it once. It won't count multiple entries, but I see you are doing that effectively. And once we've got enough entries, then we will randomly draw one of you from this. And we kind of do this because we know people submit on the form, but they maybe submit and then they're not actually here on the live stream. And we always want to be auditing people who are here taking part in the community.
Yep.
We already have 100 entrants, so we'll draw it.
He actually used that as the hashtag.
And yeah, I'm easily influenced.
And jokes on the spammers because it only picks them up once.
The next time we do this, we should say, like, I only need to type this once. That's the hashtag.
All right, we've already got the next one.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Carissa, hope I pronounced your name correctly, travels Florida. I think we may have audited this channel in the past because what I remember when I was looking at their channel is that they latched onto a particular theme for their content. You know, we were talking about the evolution of different Doctor Who villains or characters. This channel started doing this theme where they will do the absolute guide to a theme park in Florida, be it Disney or Cape Canaveral or whatever. And the view counts for some of these were really encouraging. So I would just continue to recommend they follow that guiding format whenever they can. Maybe they can't do it with every single video because it probably takes a long time to make them. Those might be their flagship pieces of content. But other general thoughts here for a channel that has 6,000 subscribers and yeah, good consistency here.
All right. Some of these thumbnails have me wondering what's going on. Like the big middle one there with the purple, dying with the dinos. I don't know what's happening in that thumbnail.
Oh, that's interesting. So until I actually put my magnifying glass over it, I didn't pick out the dinosaur bones there.
Yeah, that one's just not very clear in its and what it's proposing to me because it looks like a purple blur.
Yep.
So that one would be something where I would have to, and here's the tough part, right? Because unless they're there to where they can retake another picture of it, it makes it difficult. But this is why whenever you think of like, oh, hey, this is what I'm going to use for my thumbnail. If you're there on the spot, start taking multiple pictures, and that way you have multiple options for what you can do. Thumbnail wise, because otherwise you're stuck with whatever camera angles you got while you were recording, and you could be stuck with a thumbnail like that. A dinosaur dining with dinos at T-Rex Cafe, a T-Rex should be in the thumbnail, but highly visibly. Right now, it just looks like maybe a crack in a purple wall.
Yeah.
So
I bet
that's just me being real.
I bet you've blown up. That picture looks amazing. And I think a lot of photography on this channel looks amazing. But great photography doesn't necessarily make for great thumbnails.
Let's check that out because we can do that by just. That's the image that the creator probably had to work with, but then we all see
had
it.
no idea there was an actual dinosaur outline in that picture until you blew it up.
I didn't see the people.
I didn't see the people.
I didn't know there were people.
Yeah, I would punch in if you're forced to use that picture. I would have really punched in on that dinosaur.
Here's a question. We often would say reduce text as much as possible. Do you think maybe there's an argument for having some text in a channel like this, where it's travel, sites, locations, just to add some context?
Yes.
Yeah. In that case, if that was the only picture, I would have put an arrow and then T-Rex. You know, just keeping it dead simple.
Or eat this.
Eat this? Yeah, well, I wouldn't eat the thing on the wall, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, bright red arrow would have come in handy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think about channel focus? Like what they're covering? Does all of that seem solid and good? I think some very promising numbers here.
Yeah. I mean, some doing better than others, but that's for obvious reasons. Like Disney Springs, I think would be a more popular destination because it's Disney World than like Kennedy Space Center. But I do think over time, those videos too will also like collect a lot of views. Sorry, Viper.
I'm having to plug my mouse in. It's running out of battery.
Oh, you're good. I'm gonna say the view counts are pretty consistent from what I'm seeing, so they're on the right path.
Yeah, I love that approach of the absolute guide. Like it's a different. I guess it's a different word to use in a title, a new quantifier, and they have a couple of videos that have just performed really well using that theme.
Yeah, there's a few channels that I've seen that do the absolute blank, or the ultimate blank, or the complete, or the comprehensive. So I've seen that for different types of content. So it's a smart play. If anything, I would do that Jake Thomas type of strategy and look at other niches to see when they do the absolute guide, but look up other niches for like a guide and see what other qualifiers they might be using to kind of give you maybe a different angle on it, because that did work. But if it isn't working anymore, or maybe just people aren't clicking on that, maybe they've moved on to a different qualifier, then it'd be worth looking at other niches to see what you could bring into yours.
Yep. Where's the channel gone? There it is. There it is. I just have one more question. You know, often for channels, it's a case of they're not creating enough content. Their cadence is off. Do you think there might be an argument here to say, you know what, let's not bother with the Pirates Dinner and must try new food in Epcot Center and this one about kayaking? Why don't we just say we're going to make one video a month and it's always going to be the absolute guide on something, so I can put all of my focus into these big guides? Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea? I'm just curious what your thoughts would be in that they just focus on these big epic guide videos and nothing else.
I like that. I think like looking at that Epcot video, like what if it was the absolute guide to Epcot Food and Wine Festival rather than trying a new food at Epcot Food and Wine?
Nice.
So what if you got more niche with the absolute guides? Because the Food and Wine Festival is huge. Like there are so many things, and every year there's like probably new menu items to cover and things like that. I think it's kind of like I think trying new things at Epcot, you could probably just change the title of the video you have right there. I bet it'd be the same thing.
Now, I guess why we were saying that is because we've been practicing or experimenting with just small YouTuber, small creator, small channels in a lot of our titles recently. We've been seeing a lot of success. So we're kind of doubling down on this target audience pitch in our titles. And yeah, I like that idea of the absolute guide to food in the Epcot Center. So not just looking at the the park as a whole. It's looking at a particular aspect of that park, but using that absolute concept. I really like that as an idea, Dan. Brilliant.
Yeah, because you could do the festivals and also, like you said, food, just in general, too. You could take it so many places. Sorry, Viper.
No, I was gonna say, I just want to talk real quick about why we have been doubling down on the small channel videos. We look at the data, and the data has shown us that most of our viewers are creators with 1,000 or less subscribers. So by us using that data to make those small channel videos, I mean, there's a reason why they're popping off. I mean, that's what you all want from us. That's what you expect. So we're giving you what you want.
Yeah. We teach data-driven decisions. It makes sense for us to make data-driven decisions on our content, right?
Yep.
Agreed. And it's Nene Plays next. This might be.
Oh, we should have switched it to Dan's hashtag, man. It would have thrown all the spammers off in the chat.
It would have just created 2 competing hashtags in the chat.
Nene Plays. They're being up front here, Dan. Relaxing, no commentary content.
So we know from the
jump, live streams as well.
Nothing we say will get this person to do commentary, and that's totally fine. That's cool. What you need to be doing before we even were to look at any of your videos, what you need to be doing is seeing how people, especially in the Minecraft space or any building game for that matter, how are they doing no commentary with success? I have seen no commentary channels with success, but they have to have something else, a skill or something to share with the audience. For Minecraft, I can see you doing no commentary if you were to do Minecraft speed builds and you were particularly good at building. You can totally see a montage working where a build is like coming together, you know, and there doesn't need to be commentary. You got some chill music and you got this build being constructed, and there's all kinds of mods you can use to get multiple camera angles and so on and so forth. So that can work. But what I'm worried about is what we're seeing here with the titles and the thumbnails.
Yeah.
Can you do a Minecraft Let's Play with no commentary?
That's going to be rough.
The data is telling us something very glaringly painful here, in that you may want to do no commentary Let's Plays on Minecraft. We've seen so many channels doing Let's Play with commentary on various video games over many periods of years and having the same issue of no views. And unfortunately, it's going to continue to happen unless you start to heed Dan's advice about what is the unique property that you're going to provide that's going to set you apart and make your content interesting.
Yeah.
Also, just a quick question. I mean, do we really think that there are a lot of people who would look for Minecraft content in order to relax?
I want to be entertained.
Well, that's my point, right? Yeah. Because if I'm going to watch any sort of a Let's Play, I want to be entertained by it. Like, one of the reasons that I'll watch episodes of GTA roleplay is because it's entertaining. It's freaking funny. Yeah. Like that stuff. That's why there's value in that, because I'm entertained. I can sit down, I can have a snack, I can watch it, you know, and have a good time. But with no commentary, then you have to give me more. You have to give me a reason. So I agree with Dan. I hope they take your advice and look at what other no commentary channels are doing and start applying some of those tactics.
A compromise has to be made. Sorry.
Commentary or no commentary, the content has to have personality, because that is what will keep viewers engaged with the content. And if your content does not have personality, no one's going to care. No one's going to watch.
I think when it comes to YouTube, a compromise is always made, right? Like you want to cover Minecraft, you want to do no commentary, and you want to do Let's Plays. And one of those things has to go in this case, because you can't do, I think, and I want you to prove me wrong. Please do go out, because that would mean you're doing a lot of research. I don't think you can do a Let's Play series, like with long form Let's Plays with no commentary in your favorite game. I think you're asking for way too much there. But if you go out and you see, all right, I don't want to do commentary, and that's a hard line for me, then you need to say, I might have to give up something for that. It might be the Let's Plays. It might be that instead of no commentary, you're going to give, you know, you're going to do 2-minute tutorials on how to build things with redstone. Turns out you don't have to speak for that, because as long as you give nice, clear instructions with the visuals you're using, you don't need to talk. you know, and there's plenty of Minecraft no commentary channels for you to look at if no commentary is your line. But if you've been thinking about doing commentary anyway, then we would be having like a way different discussion. But because you put it in your banner, I'm assuming you're not going to be doing commentary, and that can be okay, but you kind of gotta go with the flow there. You gotta make a compromise here.
Here's what I recommend this creator does for their next video. They build the Colosseum in Minecraft. Then they create a replica of Russell Crowe in the Gladiator. And then the very last shot is the camera panning down onto him as there's lots of dismembered Minecraft characters next to him. And you take this clip from the film of Russell Crowe going, "Are you not entertained?" And then you just end the video there.
There are mods, by the way, where you can have
That's actually
dismembered Minecraft characters. Like they'll break off into little pieces, all their limbs will fall off. So yeah, you can do a lot with that.
You can do anything in Minecraft.
You can do anything in Minecraft.
All right, the next channel is Pete Cottrell. And from just his channel banner, this is going to be a guitar channel at a guess. It is, and he's got 226,000 subscribers. So as a music channel with a lot of subscribers and a lot of views, I'm just going to back away from this one and let Jeff, Dan, and Viper take care of it.
Why though?
What? Yeah. What's wrong? Where are you going?
Yeah, well, what's wrong, Rob?
Rob,
You gotta have confidence, sir.
Rob,
Confidence.
come back. We need your help.
I don't know how to help a music channel with lots of
Confidence, sir.
subscribers.
Confidence.
You gotta make a compromise here. You
All
can't
right.
do channel audit.
All right. Well, first of all, phenomenal thumbnails. Would we all agree with that?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, why are they phenomenal thumbnails? Let's talk about this. What makes them really cool?
I would say the amount of elements used.
So, talk to me a little bit about that, Jeff. How many elements would you say this thumbnail has?
Well, I would say, if anything, technically I would say 2, because I don't think the guitar and the creator himself are separate. I consider them to be the one element and then the text to be the other. So there's a simplicity to it that allows you to understand the thumbnail, absorb it very, very quickly, and then combine that with a simple to read title. Then that's kind of a good combination in order to get people to click. So that's what I like about it. Even some of the other ones, like that might seem more like the newest video. There's one about Metallica, which I think is 3 elements: the picture themselves, the text, and then the album cover. So
I would argue the background is an element as well, just because he's cut himself out and blurred the background.
True. Yeah.
Colours.
Agreed. Yeah, for sure. Only thing I would say is the fact that these titles are getting a little truncated, but aside from that, I mean, that's the only thing that I would even have an issue with as far as packaging is concerned. But obviously the stuff seems to be performing quite well, but I would be interested in seeing what performs best on their channel.
I love the some of the titles here. You don't need 8-string guitars. This is proof.
Yeah. Challenging a premise.
Challenging. This is one of the title strategies from Jake Thomas, isn't it? It's like challenging assumptions. Another one here: 6 reasons why James hates Hetfield is so awesome. That's kind of like confirming an assumption, but with like a really powerful thumbnail. It just sort of jumps off the page.
It could have been 6 reasons why James Hetfield isn't trash.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
I love
you do
that
the
they're
sort?
using their skills and their talents to do interesting things. Like, what if Pantera sounded like another band? Like, you know, I think this is a really unique approach to music channels. I hope music channels that are watching us are taking note of what this creator's doing.
So just as I scan through the videos, typically their view counts tend to be like 50 to 90,000 would be a good video. But there are some videos that have only 13,000 and 15,000. So why perhaps aren't those videos not performing as well? What's the format change or the topic change, which isn't working as much? And I don't know if we can find out an answer immediately here, but that's something definitely for the creators to investigate a little bit.
It could be topically, because one thing I would look at would be like the last of their bigger videos. Actually, the last 2 involve Slipknot and Metallica. So if you look at what if Metallica sounded like Slipknot, 222,000 views 6 months ago. What if Slipknot sounded like Metallica? So the other way around, 92,000 views. So it seems like there's a lot around that, and that could be what's going on. They're attracting that type of audience, and when they don't talk about stuff that Metallica fans are into, then they're just not clicking. They'll see it, they're like, it's not about Metallica, I don't want to watch that. So I like the dude, but only when he talks about blank. And I know that as viewer behavior, I am the same way with certain channels. Like, I like the way that they'll talk about music, but if it's not the genre that I'm personally interested in, or an artist that I'm personally interested in, I'm not clicking on their video, which sucks, but it is what it is. I'm the viewer, and I have to, you have to make me want to click on it. So that could be what's going on there.
Interesting. The most popular videos were this format of one riff, 20 bands. I'm guessing that maybe the creator got through as many as they could of this, or got bored of that format and have moved on. Sorry, Dan, you did want to say something there. Please do.
Yeah, you're fine. Something in my eye. The most popular video was like a challenge. They tried to play a song with one guitar string. Like, I like how they're taking proven types of content that other niches have done time and time again, and like applied it to music. Like, can I play a song with one guitar string? I've never even thought of that as a challenge that a guitarist could do, but that's really cool. Like, and it's a concept that everybody who's looking at in terms of title and thumbnail could like easily approach.
Yep.
Not using a community tab. That's perhaps a missed opportunity, especially when you're publishing videos. It looks like once every 2 weeks. It's a chance to re-engage with your audience, promote some of your older content. So start experimenting with the community tab a little bit. But other than that, this is just a channel that's on fire and doing really well. I think the thumbnails are fantastic. I absolutely love these thumbnails.
Yeah.
A good example.
And if they decided to split out from the trap of Slipknot and Metallica, then I would definitely be going after, like they did with the what if Pantera sounded like Gojira. Stuff like that can work very well, especially if you're finding other bands that still have a large following that you can tap into their fan base. But one thing I would really recommend is, if you're going to do that, make a series out of it. Because let's say that you make a video about, let's say, just throwing this out there, not saying you have to do this, but let's say you did one about Santana, the band Santana, right? You only did a one-off, and then that video blew up, but then you have no others. So now they don't have any Santana fans, don't have anything else to watch on your channel. Different than with the Metallica videos, you have a whole number of them. So if you're going to go ahead and split off into a different like band or different types of bands, try to have a series, whether it's what if blank sounded like blank and then opposite, but try to think of these ideas in multiples of 3 to 5. And that way, if a fan of Santana lands on your channel, then they can immediately start binge watching anywhere from 3 to 5 videos based on the topic that they're already interested in.
How many camera angles has he got set up here to do?
My
I like it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Channel's
And that was
fire,
an
man.
example where there was, like, he didn't have to explain anything there. The thumbnail and the title explained it, and the video just jumped straight into committing to what was promised in a thumbnail and the title.
Yeah, I got to check out Pete's channel, man, because I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I mean, production quality is awesome, but just the topics that he's talking about, I'm into it. So
yeah.
So that might be something. I wonder if, like, the audience doesn't react as well when he's doing, like, talking to camera. Like, maybe there's something there whereby just purely music content versus explanation, narration. What is the audience reaction to those different types of content? Might be something else to review as well.
I also wonder if you could take popular like pop artists and like mix them in with metal too. Like I don't know. What if Dua Lipa sounded like Slipknot? Just go nuts, as a test. I mean, you're here looking for some advice. We're saying this channel is amazing. From here, it's just kind of trying new things to see if you can break into some.
Well, that's what we did with the drum cover channel, where he was stuck doing these classic rock songs that some people cared about, but not the majority of YouTube's viewers. And then when he decided to start doing like hardcore drum covers of hip hop songs or K-pop songs or Latin songs, that it really took off, because then he was tapping into other audiences that were into that type of music. We're like, oh, I wonder what my favorite BTS song would sound like on a hard rock, drum set. And that's what he tapped into. So there's other options out there if they want to tap into some other types of content.
And what about Shorts or TikTok? Have you experimented with those platforms? Because I feel as if this content could naturally be transitioned into the short form content. Because these videos, some of these videos are relatively short anyway, like 2 minutes, 1 minute 50. I think there's definitely some shorts opportunity. However, would we put shorts on this channel?
No,
I don't know. It would just destroy. It would destroy the look of a thumbnail in a channel.
And it would muddy the data. I think it would muddy the data. So
Agreed.
I would say if they did it, I would do it on TikTok, and I would do it as a separate shorts channel, if anything, which they can link. You know, they could put it in their channels or whatever it might be. But yeah, I wouldn't do it on this channel personally. That's just me, my opinion. But yeah,
I agree. That is then Pete Cottrell, and let's end it there on a fantastic channel.
Yep.
Congratulations to you, and congratulations to all of you who submitted your channels and got audited this week. We hope you found our advice, wisdom, and knowledge valuable and also entertaining. Viper, as always, really appreciate you on audits. Are you going to be joining us tomorrow as well? Is that correct? So we're going to have a trio of hosts tomorrow. Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeff, pleasure as always. I think this is like you go on a bit of a run here now. I think this is like your fourth or fifth consecutive.
I think so.
Appearance. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, man. I've been hopping in and stuff, and yeah, man, it's been a good time. No complaints on my end, man.
Any final words about vidIQ Max?
Hey, I mean, if you want to take your channel to the next level, if you're finally there at that point and it makes sense to you financially, then please join us. Check out vidIQ.com/max. We got an amazing community. And this week, man, I'm super pumped. I think all of us are pumped because we are talking to an actual YouTube employee about the algorithm. So it is going to be, as the kids would say, lit.
And Dan, I'm going to give you a few more words to promote what we're doing tomorrow, and we'll sign off.
We're doing some video reviews, so similar to today, but we're going to dive way into the content. And we're also going to be looking at thumbnails tomorrow as well. So we're going to be going really in depth tomorrow with potentially your channel.
Oh,
Peace, everyone.
Before we go,
Yeah.
the podcast. Please make sure you guys check out the Tube Talk podcast, especially the episode that's going to be coming out this week.
Real quick before we go, though.
Okay. I'll just leave then. All right, I'll go.
All right, we got it. Let's go.
Well, I think the people who talk about how vidIQ is expensive and this is expensive and that's expensive, and that's all good and well. But here's the thing. We offer a lot of free content on this YouTube channel. We even have a free tier of our software that you guys can use to test out. So you don't have to pay for anything. However, to grow your channel, at some point, you're going to have to spend money. There's a saying, you got to spend money to make money. So just understand that at some point, if you want to take your content and take your channel to the next level, you're going to have to invest in your channel. There's no getting around it. So just be ready. Just understand.
Yes, sir.
You lot still here?